to learn some math. Learn some math.
Alright, so we're going to talk about surface area of cylinders today, and your learning target is I can find the surface area of cylinders. Alright, so first we're going to go through some definitions here, and the first thing we're going to define is the lateral surface. Okay, lateral surface is that first blank, and what that is that's the curved side that connects the two bases of a cylinder. Okay, so the lateral surface of a cylinder is the curved sides that connect the two bases. If you look down at this picture here, we see the lateral surface is that area around the bases, or if you think about a pop can or something, it's where you're holding. That's the lateral surface. Okay. Now the second thing is that the axis of a cylinder, the axis of a cylinder is the line that connects the center of a circle to the bases. Okay, that's this red line here on both of these diagrams. The axis in a right cylinder is perpendicular to the base. That means it intersects at 90 degrees, whereas the axis in the oblique cylinder does not necessarily need to be perpendicular. So a couple of formulas real quick. To figure out what the lateral area of a right cylinder, what we have to do is we have to multiply 2 times pi times the radius times the height. Okay, so what that looks like then is that the lateral area of a right cylinder is equal to 2 pi r h. Okay, and if you were to essentially unfold, if you were to unfold this cylinder up here, we're going to be finding what the length of that entire circumference is. That's where that 2 pi r comes from, and then multiplying it by the height of the cylinder. That's essentially what is happening here. Okay. Now for the surface area of a right cylinder is equal to the lateral area, L, plus 2 times the base area. Okay, so what that's going to look like then, surface area is going to be our lateral area, which remember is 2 pi r h plus 2 times the base. Okay, that's the base area. That's telling us to find the area of the top base and the bottom base. Or we can kind of simplify this a little bit. Instead of using that 2 pi r h, we can just say the lateral area plus 2 times the base area. Okay, let's do an example. Example 1 says to find the lateral area and surface area of the right cylinder and give your answers in terms of pi. Okay, what that means in terms of pi is instead of rounding it to a certain decimal point, or instead of multiplying it by pi, we just leave pi as it is. So let's go ahead and first find the lateral surface area, and remember that's 2 pi r h, or the lateral area, and so we just have to substitute those numbers in for this here. We've got L is equal to 2 pi, our radius is 3 miles, and our height is 7 miles. And so we're just going to multiply all those numbers together and leave pi as it is. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 times 7 is 42 pi. Okay, that is our lateral area, is 42 pi. Now to find the surface area, remember surface area, that formula is L plus 2b, and I'm using this one because we already know what the lateral area is. We can just substitute these numbers in. Is 42 pi plus 2 times the base area, and remember base area of a circle area is pi r squared, and so that's going to be pi r, which is 3 squared. Alright, now we can just solve this. We get 42 pi plus 2 times 3 squared is 9, so it's going to be times 9 pi. 2 times 9 is 18, and so we're left with 42 pi plus 18 pi. And then because these are constants, they're the exact same, they go to the same variable there, we can combine those to make 42 plus 18 is 60 pi. Okay, and that is our final answer. Alright, example 2 says to find the lateral area and surface area of a right cylinder. This time it tells us that the diameter is 16 meters and the height is 7 meters. We want to give our answer in terms of pi once again. Okay, so first we're going to find the lateral area, and remember that the lateral area is 2 pi times your radius times your height. Okay, and here's what we do know is we know that the radius for this is, well, the diameter is 16, so the radius has to be half of that, which means that it's 8, and our height we're given is 7. So we just have to multiply this all together. 8 times 7 is 56. 56 times 2 is going to be 112. So we have 112 pi is our lateral area. Now we can, with that, we can find the surface area. Okay, we found the lateral area. We can find the surface area now, because we know that the surface area is just our lateral area, 112 pi, plus 2 times our base area. Okay, and remember our base area is going to be pi r, which again is 8 squared. All right, now we're just solving this. This is just algebra. We've got 112 pi plus 2 times 8 squared, which is 64. And 2 times 64 is 128. 128 pi. And then we just combine these to make the surface area equal to 240 pi. Okay, and something I forgot to do, and I think I forgot to do it on the last problem too, is we have to make sure we label this. We're talking about meters here, so this is meters squared and meters squared. Make sure you label correctly. Use your units squared, okay? Let's do example 3. Example 3 starts getting a little bit more difficult. Okay, for this one, we're trying to find the surface area of a composite figure. That means we're trying to find the surface area of this this really odd looking shape that is really a combination of a rectangular prism and a cylinder. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find what the surface area of that cylinder is, find the surface area of that rectangular prism, and then combine them. Okay, so let's first find the surface area of the cylinder. And this is where our original equation kind of helps out a little bit more. We know that the surface area formula is 2 pi r h plus 2b, but I want to notice something real quick. You see on this cylinder, the surface area, the only surface area that is actually above this one, reaches down. The only one is just this one. So really, we're just trying to find the base area, which base area is pi r squared. We don't have to multiply this one by 2 because we're only having one of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this then. We've got 2 times pi times our radius, which is 2 centimeters, times our height, which is 3 centimeters, plus pi times our radius squared. Alright, again, this is just algebra now. We're just solving for the surface area of this cylinder. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, so we have 12 pi, plus 4 pi, which combine to make 16 pi. 16 pi. That's the area of the surface area that we can see from this cylinder. Okay, now we have to find the surface area of the rectangular prism. Okay, I'm just going to write prism up here. Remember that the surface area for a prism is the perimeter times the height plus 2 times the base. Okay, and I want to real quick mention, we still have to get rid of this little circle part. So we have to subtract out here pi r squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and solve this now. We've got surface area is equal to our perimeter, and our perimeter is going to be 9 plus 4, which is 13, plus 9 more plus 4 more is going to be 26. Okay, times our height. Okay, our height is 5 centimeters. So we're going to multiply that by 5, plus 2 times our base. 2 times the base. Okay, now the base area is 9 times 4, which is 36. And remember, we have to, at the very end, subtract out that little tiny part right here, which is pi r squared. So that's going to be, remember we just found that to be 4 pi. Alright, now we just have to go ahead and solve this. 26 times 5 is 130, plus 2 times 36, which is 72, minus 4 pi. And 130 plus 72 is 202, minus 4 pi. Now that's an exact answer, but we don't necessarily keep that in terms of pi for this one, and so we're going to have to actually solve that. And to do that, you might want to get your friend here and do 202 minus 4 pi, which is 189.4. Okay, that's the surface area showing for this rectangular prism. Now we just have to combine this. Okay, so our surface area of this composite figure is 16 pi plus 189.4. So let's go ahead and just add this to 16 pi, and we end up getting 239.7. So our surface area is 239.7 centimeters squared.